The creator of The Crow explains it's based off a tragic, true story about his life.
Up until I was like 16, I kind of felt like my life was this endurance test that I had to get through. It was like, well, what more could be thrown at me? I kind of felt like God had his elbow on my neck my whole life. It was like I just had to get to the end of it. I had to get to the end of the race, and then good things would happen. And when I was 16, I met this girl, and she was like an angel to me. I mean, she was just absolutely everything I had ever wanted. And I thought, I did it. I got to the end of the race. I got, for not caving in, for not surrendering, for fighting through that 16 years of difficulty. I finally got to the end, and I've got the prize. And she was like the exact opposite of me. I was, dark and brooding and sarcastic and really venomous and everything. And she was like just like this bright white light who was always happy, and I never heard her say a foul word or a word against anyone. Um, if I would like verbally attack someone, she would point out their good points, and so it was like I don't know, it was like positive and negative. We just kind of fit together perfect, and it was just like a perfect balance. And and everything that I had found, wanting in human nature, she would point out the positive aspects of it. So I don't know, I was really enamored of her, and I just, it was like meeting someone, and I just could not find any fault with her at all. And I don't know, she was just like a shining light in my life, and we were together for like every day for probably 3 years. And we were engaged, and we were supposed to be married after we graduated. And she was killed by a drunk driver, and I was like pretty much just destroyed. Everything that I had worked for, had been working up to, was wrapped around this person, and suddenly she was gone for no good reason. I mean, it's not like she had an illness or it was something that was anticipated. Just like one day out of the blue, somebody decided to get drunk and drive down a side street at 70 miles an hour, and suddenly she was just gone. I don't know if I actually believed in a God, but if I did, then I really felt betrayed by him. That why make this beautiful, perfect flower and then just trample it afterwards? What was the point in that? What was the meaning of that? I almost felt like I was being punished. Like I had finally been shown this thing and allowed to hold it for just a moment, and then it was taken away, just as like a bitter joke. And I definitely lost my faith in human nature for a while there. So I spent probably 3 years after that doing really self-destructive things, just furious with life, just kind of charging through it. When I was little, when I was a kid, I used to play this game in the bathtub where I would try and keep all the water on one side of the bathtub, which is pretty much impossible. It just can't be done. But but it was a game I would play, and I kind of felt like that's what I was doing in my life. I was just trying to keep everything bad and evil and everything that would destroy me back. And you can only do that for so long before you tire and you realize it's futile. There's no way you're going to be able to do that forever, and it's never going to relent. It's never going to stop. So I finally realized that I was going to have to channel all this into something, or I was going to self-destruct. So I decided, well, I'll find this vehicle, which was the Crow, to vent all this anger and frustration and rage. Um, so so it became my therapy for a long time. I would